What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be showing you the best gym session structure to improve your performance on the field as a soccer player or a footballer. If you're new here, definitely consider subscribing to the channel so you stay up to date with all the videos that I post. My goal is to provide as much value to you as possible through my experiences as a professional player. And if there's any videos that you specifically want to see, then definitely drop them in the comment section below. All right, so jumping straight into it. So basically, there's numerous studies that show that contrast training, which is basically a heavy resistance exercise followed by an unloaded plyometric exercise. Studies show that this type of training is highly effective at improving sprint, jump, performance. In addition to that, studies also show that complex training also provides performance increases for footballers specifically, such as your sprint performance, your jump performance, and your change of direction performance. And complex training is very simple. All it is one circuit of heavy resistance exercises and then a second circuit that match the first circuit's resistance exercises. So for example, if you had a circuit of a heavy bench press, a heavy squat, and then you had a second circuit of a plyo push-up and a squat jump. Do you see what I'm trying to say, where there's two heavy resistance exercises and then there's two unloaded plyometric exercises that match the exact same movement pattern as the first two heavy exercises? That's complex training. Okay, so now why are these two different ways of training in the gym, contrast training and complex training, why are they so effective at increasing performance? There's this thing called PAP, or post-activation potentiation. So that's a huge word, but basically all that means is that you take a heavy resistance exercise, and that heavy resistance exercise actually recruits a ton of muscle fibers and it activates your central nervous system. Firstly, you've recruited more muscle, so more muscle fibers are being used to actually generate the power for that exercise that you're doing after the heavy one. And on top of that, you have the central nervous system activation. So the point of that heavy resistance exercise at the beginning is just to activate and to stimulate for that plyometric exercise afterward. And again, that whole concept of the increase in athletic output after that heavy resistance exercise is called post-activation potentiation. Finally, if we take contrast training and we take complex training and we actually combine the two, there's something called French contrast training, which is basically just that. And it turns out that it's a combination of both training methods that work along the force velocity curve, which I'm not going to get into too much in this video, but basically all you have to know is that we're working along this force velocity curve at different points, and we're improving each point on the force velocity graph to where we can produce more force in a shorter amount of time. And that's one of the main things that we're trying to do as players to improve our performance on the field. The other thing is to reduce injuries to where we actually can perform on the field more often. And so those are the two big things, is increasing your rate of force production and reducing your rate of injury. And so now how do we actually go about using this French contrast method in the gym? To answer that question, let's go ahead and jump on into the gym session. And so the first circuit here is going to be a French contrast circuit. And so basically we're going to start off with that heavy resistance exercise for the contrast. So we're going to start off with a heavy Bulgarian split squat. So it's a single leg squat with your back foot elevated on a chair, a bench, or an object. And so we're going to do 4 reps on each leg. Remember, we're going heavy on this one. And then after that, we're going to go into these weighted split squat jumps. And remember, for these weighted split squat jumps, we're starting on our tippy toes and then we're dropping into a split squat stance and we're exploding up as high as we can go. And then for the next exercise, it's going to be these unweighted split squat jumps, so body weight. And for this one, we're just focusing on getting even higher than before. And you will see after you do the heavy resistance exercise and after you do the weighted plyometric that you will see this post-activation potentiation, this increase in force production. And then we're going to finish off with a band-assisted split squat jump continuously. And so then the last exercise in this circuit is just to get some single leg balance and a little bit of hamstring work. And we're just going to do a simple single leg RDL, and that'll be the first circuit. And so basically we're going to go through this circuit 3 to 4 times, depending upon your level in the gym. And we're going to rest for 3 minutes in between rounds of this circuit because we want to allow ATP, which is utilized during this circuit, to replenish fully or almost fully by the time that we start the next round of the circuit. So 3 minutes of rest is mandatory. And then after this circuit, we're going to jump into the second circuit. This is going to be more transitioning towards the core corrective and stability exercises. And so the first one is going to be this oblique crunch. And so for this one, it's pretty plain and simple. You're just going through basically a V-up, but just for the obliques. And so we're going to go through around 10 reps on each side. And then after this, we're going to jump into the plank bird dogs. And so basically for this one, you're essentially just in a high plank position and you're balancing, and then you're going to lift one of your arms in the opposite leg for about 1 second, and then you're going to lower them back to the ground and then switch sides. So 4 reps on each side for that one. And then we're going to go into this ball squeeze crunch, and then we're actually engaging more of these small stabilizer muscles. This is more of an injury prevention exercise. We're focusing more on the core stabilization muscles at the bottom of the core, more towards like the abdominal wall area. And so we're going to do 12 reps of this one, and then we're going to finish off with these last 2 exercises, which is going to be this Copenhagen hold and the single leg knee tap squat. So now for the Copenhagen holds, we're going to be doing 20 seconds on each side. And then for the single leg knee tap squat, we're going to be doing 5 reps on each side. And so for this second circuit, we're going to be resting for 1 minute in between, and we're going to do 3 rounds. So yeah, that's basically the full session here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely drop a like and definitely consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the bell for the notifications to where you get updated and you get notified every single time that I post. All right, guys, I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.